dusty carpet from under my feet, just have me trip and fall on my ass like a fucking cartoon. If Mariah couldn't handle being an editor with all that she does and her moving, then what has either you or Sydney thinking that this is going to work out? Where did this whole thing of Sydney wanting to be an editor even come from? Was that something that she had planned for a while? And if it wasn't, then why the hell is she deciding this now? And if it was, then why wasn't I notified by you about that possibility? You never said anything to me about this. And what's more so, if she had planned on this, then what was the whole point of even bringing up the chance of being your full-time editor to me when you're just going to play the old Twinkie on a string trick? Same with the trip. You're telling me that they went and canceled my trip over there because none of them thought about Kenz's birthday at the same time, and that things were too busy for me? Okay, what if hypothetically speaking, I was still working? I would have taken those few days off for nothing. Would you have still canceled my trip? And what if, hypothetically speaking, as of right now, I went ahead and bought something for Ken's on her birthday because I didn't forget. I'd have given it to her in person. Don't try to pull the wool over my eyes. Give me a fucking break. I was even going to ask you, or somebody, before I left, if you had any ideas for what Ken's might want for her birthday, because frankly, out of all of the girls in the group, I always felt like deep down she was the only one who actually gave a damn about me on a personal level. And before you go off on me and say that I'm being unfair in any way throughout all of this talk of mine, let me explain something to you about being unfair. I think it's unfair of you to give me the old guilt trip by saying that the girls are all doing their best for me because, and I quote, and I have this text, no one else has gotten that treatment. Well, that's a straight up bullshit lie. Then how do you explain Morgan? How do you explain Bree? How do you explain Austin? And before you go on telling me how that was not Watch Girls Play related, I consider the fact that only having met through Watch Girls Play Business and then having two of their members buy out a fucking beach house to spend time with them while all I got was a hotel all by myself so that they can essentially do God knows what, I don't know. I call that hosting. And I know what you're going to be like. You're going to be all, well, you should be damn grateful that you're getting anything at all. Well, you know what? To me, that's like when you're at the orphanage in Oliver Twist. And the guy who's handing out the spoonfuls of soup, he's just like, oh, you should be grateful you got 2 spoonfuls. That guy in front of you, I only gave 1. As far as I'm concerned, saying that doesn't mean anything to me. And one other thing, something else about being unfair, not too long ago, you had me take down a rant live stream that I did a while back on Stephanie and other things. And I took it down with no problem, no issues. What I do have a problem with is the fact that that other ranting video in question, that YouTube video that a person made on Stephanie with bits from both the original Ode to Stephanie video and the Drea Renee live stream is currently still up. So while that other person is sitting there collecting views for himself, I don't have anything. Not that I'm trying to benefit from views about the whole thing, but it's just a thing that's there. It's been there for weeks now and nothing's been done about it. So why does it always feel like I'm the one getting punished for things like this? It's like that last situation from a few years back all over again, where it felt like I was the one getting most of the brunt for what went wrong. When I know deep down that what I said back then, it may have been harsh, but I didn't feel like I was wrong. You and the girls can accuse me of multiple things. You can accuse me of being a little bit of a narcissist. Fine. I like me. I like my name. I like my character and personality. So what? You can accuse me of having a bloated ego. Fine. This ego I felt has done a lot of good for my confidence, because as far as that goes, I never felt better. You can accuse me of being somewhat selfish. Or maybe it's like that old, what was that boy band? NSYNC. What's wrong with being a little bit selfish? But if there's one thing that you dare not accuse me of, it's being dishonest with you. Throughout this whole time, I've been nothing but honest with you on how I felt about things, good, bad, indifferent. When there are good things, you know that I'm going to praise them all to the high heavens. And when there are bad things, I'm going to say something about it. It's like my folks always taught me growing up. Nothing gets done unless you speak up about it. See, that's the difference between somebody like Derek and myself. He's not going to come up to you and say the things that I'm saying to you all. He's your yes man of the operation. But do you know what the worst part about that is? I don't have a problem with him personally. What I do have a problem with sometimes is how you all treat him like he's some sort of god, and I'm like a personal jester. You've mentioned several times to me about being lenient on how things are run around here, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be a fucking doorstop to you or any of them. I don't think you realize how much of a bargain I am for you. When I first started out doing this, I did this all for free, no cost. I can accept when a video idea of mine, concept or editing-wise, gets scrapped. I can accept things like that. But really, I'm not asking for much when I'm just asking for a little bit of time on your live stream, especially when you're so easily willing to host men like Full Nelson and Antoine Gunner, something that I've never asked of any of you to do for my channel personally, but you never even considered doing for me. You make it sound like this whole trip thing was my idea. It wasn't. You were all the ones who wanted me out there and paid for the trip in the first place. I never asked for money. You offered to pay me for helping. I never asked for any of this equipment. You offered to send it. I just went along with all of this. If I wasn't traveling out there to get some sort of at least full-time chance or make some kind of appearance on a live stream, it didn't even need to be that long. Then aside from meeting them in person, which is fine enough, but to be expected, why was I really going over there in the first place? Just to get more editing tricks that you haven't shown me here? Through this? I was excited to see the place and them. Don't think me not. I don't think you really understand something here. I'm tired of being shortchanged. I'm tired of being the one taking fault in these circumstances. Which, by the way, some of you, not all of you, but some of you have taken this #BlameSteven thing a little bit too far. Sometimes it feels like some of you are just using it to get a cheap pot shot at slander at me. There's only so many times that a man can take no for an answer. Much like the time when Sid wouldn't let me finish the projects that I had worked on back when I did your live stream videos for free. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being labeled a bad guy in this way. Much like you, mouth off the girls. Don't tell me you don't, because I've heard you do, for not getting shit done. Now you're going to sit there and get fucking lip from me. Don't you dare give me your whole boo-hoo, woe is me sob story about your jobs, finals, or anything like that. I lost my fucking job, basically, through no fault of my own. And earlier this year, I neglected to say anything to worsen the mood of things. But I lost a close friend of mine that helped me out a lot during my college years to a fatal car accident. So don't tell me about your fucking stress. We all get it. Drea and Renee mentioned that you had a habit of doing shit like that sometimes. Do me a small favor, like even smaller than what I've asked of you in the past. Since apparently what I've been asking for has been way too much. You're probably in front of a computer right now, I imagine. Go to my personal Twitter page right now and read to me out loud the most recent thing that I retweeted from Holly. What does it say?
Never make someone a priority when all you are to them is an option.
That's right. Is that all I am to you? You're all just going to push me aside after everything that I've done for you? You're going to toss me away after I've outlived my usefulness. Is that it? Was that it? I thought I was more than that to all of you. It didn't have to be like this, Alex. I didn't want to have to fight you for this. But the timing of this was really bad, much like the whole Stephanie debacle, and I'm in no mood for this bullshit of me being denied and played for like a fool like this. You said to be lenient, but now you're really pushing it. I'm not just some pawn that you can use and do away with at the drop of a dime for either you or them. I'm not accepting fault for this. And you're not going to make it seem like it was my fault. I'm ending this conversation right now, but one more thing. As far as my live stream request goes, I'm not going to take no for an answer after all has been said and done. So whenever you reschedule, and the sooner the better, or if ever you do, maybe you're probably going to tell them how much I've been whiny to you or how how you're being unfairly treated in this. I'm not accepting no for an answer. If you're not going to do it for me, then do it for the channel. Because let's be real here. I'm a commodity for you guys. And everybody knows it. I might be sorry later for yelling at you like this. I didn't want to have to yell at any of the other girls. I had to basically restrain myself from yelling at Sydney. I didn't want to. But I'm not sorry, nor have I had any reason to be sorry for anything I've said. I've spent most of last night pacing around in my bedroom like a fucking lunatic, just trying to figure out if I should even say all the things that I'm saying to you right now. And momentarily, I was just going to let it be. Even though I was angry when you had denied not only my full-time chance, but one live stream showing, just one. I was going to let it all be, because I thought that maybe, in good faith, maybe you all had something even better in store for me. Something big that I wouldn't expect. Now, I don't know. I'm not asking for resignation from anything. Modding, editing, etc. But I'm very quickly losing my patience here. Please, just please do not make the same mistake with me that you did with Stephanie. You're going to find a way to make this right for everybody. Goodbye.
You should record that.
I did.